Imagine standing at a crossroads. One road leads towards success, fulfillment, strong relationships, financial stability, and personal growth. The others lead towards regret, missed opportunities, disappointment, and the frustration. The challenge is that when we make decisions, we rarely know which road we are choosing. Many people assume that intelligence guarantees good decisions. History has proven otherwise. Brilliant CEOs have destroyed billion-dollar companies. Highly educated investors have lost fortunes. Talented leaders have ruined the organizations. Smart people often make terrible decisions, not because they lack intelligence, but because they fall into psychological traps they don't recognize. Today's video is about those traps. These are the 10 decision making mistakes that quietly shape our life. If you can identify and eliminate them, you can dramatically improve your future. Before we begin, ask yourself one question: what decision in my life has had the biggest impact on where I am today? Every aspect of your life today is the result of thousands of decisions made over many years. The career you have, the people around you, your financial condition, your health, your confidence, all are the outcomes of choices. Most people think success comes from luck, talent, or opportunity. While these factors matter, decisions determine how effectively opportunities are being used. Consider two individuals who receive the same opportunity. One takes action immediately, the other delays, overthinks, and hesitates. Years later, their life looks completely different. Success is rarely one giant decision, it's usually thousands of small decisions repeated consistently. A single wrong decision can create consequences that last years. One poor hiring decision can damage an entire team. One emotional investment decision can erase years of savings. One impulsive relationship decision can create lifelong regret. Think about famous corporate failures. Most didn't collapse overnight. Small bad decisions accumulated until the damage became irreversible. The frightening reality is that consequences often appear much later. By the time the result arrives, people have forgotten the decision that caused it. This is why learning to decide well is one of the highest return skills in the life. Emotions are powerful advisors but terrible leaders. Imagine receiving harsh criticism at the work. Anger immediately appears. Your emotions urge you to respond instantly. You draft a message, send it, and feel satisfied for 5 minutes. Then reality arrives. Now relationships are damaged, opportunities get disappeared, and the trust is broken. Emotions evolved for survival, not necessarily for making modern strategic decisions. Fear tells us to avoid risk. Anger tells us to attack. Excitement tells us to rush. Ego tells us to prove ourselves. And the great leaders learn to separate emotional reactions from rational decisions. In 2008, global markets collapsed partly because investors acted emotionally. Fear spread rapidly. People sold assets at historic lows, many locked in enormous losses. Years later, markets recovered and reached to a new heights. The people who made decisions based on panic suffered most. The lesson applies everywhere, whether in business, leadership, relationships, or personal finance. Emotional decisions often create regrets because emotions are temporary while consequences are lasting. When emotions are strongest, decision making should slow down. Many people don't fail because they act too quickly. They fail because they never act at all. They endlessly gather information, watch more videos, read more books, seek more advices. Eventually, months or years passed on, the opportunity gets disappeared. Perfection becomes the enemy of progress. Some of the most successful people in the history made imperfect decisions quickly and then adjusted as new information it appeared. Imagine two entrepreneurs. The first spends 3 years planning. The second launches quickly, learns from the mistakes, adapts, and improves. 5 years later, who has more experience? Action produces the feedback. Feedback produces learning, and the learning produces wisdom. Perfect decisions don't exist because the future is uncertain. The goal is not perfect decisions, the goal is better decisions followed by intelligent adaptation. Humans naturally seek information that confirms existing beliefs, and this is called confirmation bias. When people believe something strongly, they unconsciously ignore evidence that contradicts them. A leader may believe a project will succeed. They begin listening only to positive reports. Warning signs get ignored. Eventually, reality becomes impossible to avoid. The smartest people actively seek disagreement because disagreement reveals blind spots. Throughout the history, major failures often occurred because warning signs were ignored. Organizations received clear signals. Experts raised concerns. Data suggested danger. But leaders listened only to information supporting their existing opinions. The lesson is simple: truth matters more than comfort. If everyone agrees with you, you may not be getting the complete picture. Many decisions feel good today but creates problems for tomorrow. Eating unhealthy food feels good today. Ignoring savings feels harmless today. Avoiding difficult conversation feels comfortable today. But long-term consequences eventually arrive. Successful people evaluate decisions beyond immediate rewards. They ask what happens if I repeat this behavior for 5 years. That question changes everything. One famous psychological experiment offered children a choice: take one marshmallow immediately or wait and receive two marshmallows later. Researchers later discovered that children who delayed gratification often achieved better outcomes in multiple areas of the life. Success frequently requires sacrificing short-term comfort for long-term rewards. Patience is not passive, patience is strategic decision making. Crowds provide comfort, but comfort is not always wisdom. History is filled with examples where millions of people believed something that later proved incorrect. When everyone moves in the same direction, independent thinking becomes rare. Great leaders respect opinions but think independently. Popularity does not determine correctness. Humans evolved into groups. Belonging increased survival. As a result, we naturally seek acceptance, but this creates a dangerous tendency. People sometimes choose social approval over truth. Independent thinking requires courage. The courage to stand alone often separates the leaders from followers. Confidence is valuable, overconfidence is dangerous. The more successful people become, the more vulnerable they are to believing they cannot fail. Overconfidence creates the blind spots, it reduces learning, it discourages the feedback, and eventually reality delivers a lesson. Many corporate collapses begin with the overconfidence. Leaders assumed the previous success guaranteed future success. They ignored competitors, dismissed warnings, rejected criticism. The lesson is powerful. Humility keeps learning alive. The moment you believe you know everything is the moment growth stops. Making decisions without enough information is like driving through fog at high speed. You may reach your destination or you may crash. Too many decisions are based on assumptions rather than evidences. Assumptions create the risk, and the knowledge reduces the risk. Not all information is equal. Wrong information creates wrong decisions. Ask yourself who provided this information? Is it verified? What evidences supports it? What might I be missing? Smart decision makers investigate before acting. Fear is one of the most powerful forces influencing the human behavior. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of criticism. Fear convinces people that avoiding action is safer. Yet many of life's greatest opportunities exist on the other side of fear. Courage is not ignoring the risk. Courage is understanding risk and acting anyway. Recklessness ignores the danger. Courage prepares for danger. The most successful people are not fearless. They simply refuses to let fear make decisions for them. Experience is expensive. Experts have often paid for their knowledge through years of mistakes. Ignoring valuable expertise can dramatically increase the cost of learning. Wise people borrow experience whenever possible. However, experts are not always correct. The goal is balance. Listen carefully, evaluate critically, and decide independently. Leadership requires learning from others while maintaining responsibility for the final decisions. Some people continue defending bad decisions even when evidence is clearly proves they are wrong. But why? Because admitting mistakes hurts the ego. Strong leaders adjust when facts get changed. Weak leaders defend mistakes to protect the pride. Adaptability is one of the most valuable leadership skills. This behavior is called the sunk cost fallacy. People continue investing time, money, and energy simply because they have already invested a lot. But past investments should not determine the future decisions. Good decision makers focus on the future outcomes rather than past commitments. Should leaders trust intuition? Yes, but only after 5 years of experience. Should we trust data or instinct? Both. Data provides the facts, instinct provides the context. Can artificial intelligence replace human decision making? AI can provide information. Wisdom remains a human responsibility. The future belongs to people who combines technology with the judgment. Whenever facing a major decision, define the problem clearly, gather the information, explore alternatives, evaluate the risk, make a decision, take action, and review results and then learn. This simple framework prevents many costly mistakes. The best decision makers are not the perfect, they are systematic. As we conclude, remember this: your life today is the result of previous decisions. Your future will be the result of decisions you make from this moment forward. Every successful entrepreneur, every respected leader, every extraordinary achiever make better decisions more consistently than the average people. The quality of your future is not determined by the luck. It is determined by the decisions you make when nobody is watching. So before your next important decision, pause and ask, am I thinking clearly? Do I have enough information? Am I acting from fear or wisdom? What are the long-term consequences? Because one decision can change everything. And your next decision may be the one that changes your life forever. So please subscribe to Story Atlas Nitish for more videos on the leadership, psychology, human behavior, success, history, and the personal growth.